Hello friends, today I'm going to show you how to identify balsam poplar, Populus balsamifera, which is a super important tree species because it's often one of the dominant trees you'll see along riparian habitats, just like this one. So these grow right along the river, and I want to get a little bit closer just to find a tree that I like. So I'm gonna, slip and slide on down this hill so we can find a tree to get a sample from. So I really like this tree here, and I'm not really great at estimating height, but these guys can get up to 60 meters tall, although 10 to 25 meters is a lot more common. And like I said, these guys grow right up along the river. There's actually a town near here. The Salish name is Untitled, which means the place of the large diameter aspen trees, and it's right on a river, and there are a lot of aspen trees there. So the winter doesn't leave us with a ton of features to botanize with, but I still want to botanize, and that means that we need to take all that we can get. So I'm going to show you the bark on this tree. First I'm going to show you this younger one, and then we're going to jump to an older one. Now this younger tree has pretty smooth gray bark. It almost reminds me of a beech if you've seen those. And the branches come out of these thick, dark knots. They almost look like a birch tree, and you might mistake it for a birch if you're not careful. But hey, we're careful here. So here's the base of an older tree, and as you can see, the bark is way different. It's gray and furrowed. But as I pan up toward the top, toward the newer growth in the tree, it really just looks like that young tree. The bark is smooth, kind of beechy, kind of birchy, basically just looks like the younger trees. Alright, but the twigs are where we're going to really find most of our winter ID features, so I want to find a good one to take. And a good twig to take is a twig with a lot of lateral buds. Now you also might run across something like this. So here's a bud at the end of the stem, but it's a really short stem. That still means that this is a terminal bud. Lateral buds are always going to be above leaf scars, which are just scars that are left when leaves fall off of the trees. So here's some new growth, and we've got a couple of lateral buds here. And if you haven't seen lateral buds before, you can just think lateral, it's the side of the twig. And if all of this is super duper new to you, don't worry, I'm going to zoom in and show you more detail later in the video. For now, I'm just looking for a good sample to take, and this one right here looks good. I've got a lot of lateral buds and a nice terminal bud. Alright, welcome to my lab. Now, if you're watching my video and you're thinking, what the heck are lateral buds? Don't worry, I'm going to give you that closer look right now. So every field guide is going to say that balsam poplar has alternate leaves, and that just means that the leaves alternate in which side of the twig they come out on. Now, this is a winter twig, so we don't have leaves to look at, but we do have lateral buds. And in the summer, that's where leaves are going to come out of. And those are just those kind of, lumps that you see on either side of the twig. And you can see from here, they do indeed alternate. But we can actually go a step farther than this, and that's what I'm going to show you right now. In fact, balsam poplar has something called leaves 3-ranked. And all that means is if you took a cross-section of the twig and you looked at what angles leaves can sprout out of, there would be 3 different angles. So I'm going to show a diagram here. And we can also look at our twig to see where are the lateral buds. And I see this one and this one. Those are coming out at the same angle. And I turn the twig just a little bit. And now this one and this one, those also come out at the same angle. Turn one more time, and it looks like we've got this one here, and then we're just kind of back where we started. So 3 spots on the twig where buds can come out. That's leaves 3-ranked. So this is such a minute detail. Why would you care about this? And I really like this feature because to me, aspen bark and birch bark look super duper similar. But when you look at birch twigs, they have lateral buds 2-ranked, so there are only 2 positions on the twig where leaves can come out of. And here's just a more zoomed in view that shows the 3 different positions on the twig that leaves can come out of. And I'm using lateral buds and leaves interchangeably because in the summer these are going to become leaves. Another very sneaky, botanically precise way to identify aspens is if I look at this leaf scar here, right directly above it, there's this scale on the lateral bud. And this scale immediately above the leaf scar, that's an aspen poplar specific thing. So this is a very fun botanical fact that will make you just extremely fun to go on hikes with. So there are several aspen species in Montana, and one of the things that distinguishes balsam poplar are these super resinous buds. So you can see I even got some of this resin on my fingers while I was filming this. Now, this is probably my favorite distinguishing feature of this species, so we're going to zoom in and take a closer look at this. So we're going to pop back to our 10x view of our lateral bud, and as you can see, the resin is just gleaming on this. And the field guides I have say that this resin smells like balsam, and I don't really buy this. I have balsam bags at home, and it doesn't smell like balsam to me. It's definitely fragrant, but to me it's a pretty different smell. Sorry to disappoint all you balsam lovers out there. To me it's more like, after it rains, kind of what a forest floor smells like. That's kind of the smell that I get out of this. Now I just wanted to show you how juicy this bud is, so we're gonna have a little ASMR moment here. Expect this tree to be a balsam poplar when I first started looking at it. When I visit a new site, I like to kind of check to see what inventories of tree species have already been done. And in Missoula, most of the trees in the genus Populus are Populus tremuloides, quaking aspen. Now, something amazing about aspens and poplars is they can form these clonal groves, where there's this parent root system underground and lots of trees can sprout up from the same root system. So since it's the same organism, when I saw all these poplar trees, I fully expected them all to be the same species. And since quaking aspen is the most common in this area, I figured they're probably all quaking aspens. Until I saw that juicy bud, because quaking aspens don't have resinous buds like that. So I wanted a couple more ID features just to confirm, so I went back to the site and yeah, no, there are definitely two different species here. So here's just a little bonus. We're going to compare quaking aspen leaves to balsam poplar leaves because there are both species here. So I brought some of these back and we're just going to rehydrate these real quick. Alright, I'm just going to dry off these leaves. And I've got tremuloides on the right, that's quaking aspen, and balsamifera on the left, that's balsam poplar. So for this last little segment, I'm going to show you 3 different things to distinguish these leaves. First, I'm going to pick these up and I'm going to look at the leaf margin. And when I look at balsamifera, these teeth are super duper shallow. I probably wouldn't have even noticed these teeth if I weren't looking really closely. Now when I switch over to quaking aspen, I don't even need to look really closely. These are toothed leaves. This is a closer view, but it's immediately apparent these teeth are a lot deeper here. So the next thing I'm going to look at is the petiole, which is just the stem of the leaf. And when I rotate the balsam poplar one around, you can see this petiole is entirely round, all the way across. If you look at a cross section, it's a circle. This is pretty different from the petiole of the quaking aspen, which you can see is distinctly flat on one side. And that's actually what makes the leaves kind of quake in the summer, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, it's definitely flat in some parts. And the last thing to look at here is just leaf shape. So balsam poplar is comparatively long, whereas quaking aspen is comparatively broad. You don't really want to go on leaf size because leaves are going to grow throughout the season, but the shape is pretty good to compare. Alright, just to sum up, if you're trying to identify balsam poplar in the winter, first, if you want to ID to the genus Populus, which is your poplars and aspens, you can look for whitish bark, you can look for 3-ranked lateral buds, or you can look for the bud scale right above the leaf scar. Now, if you want to narrow that down and get to Populus balsamifera, your balsam poplar, you can look for resinous, fragrant buds, or you can go back to your site and you can dig up some leaves and look at these characteristics that I just pointed out. So I really hope this video was helpful. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, get out there, go look for this tree, and I'll see you in the next one.